And I was trying to think of positive things that came out of me growing up in church. And the most positive thing, I can't believe I didn't think of sooner, I started doing stand-up in churches. That's how I started doing this. They called it testimony, but I was getting laughs. And No, I really did. I started doing stand-up when I was 16 years old, and for the first, 4 or 5 years of my career, I was performing in a lot of churches. If you don't know, in America, you can make a living as a church comedian. You can tour churches even bigger than this, 4,000 or 5,000 seats, and make a great living that way. And when I was 21, I had to decide, am I going to go the church comedian route, or am I going to go the secular comedian route? And I think you know what I picked. But I am so grateful to have that as my foundation for my stand-up career. I mean, I got so much professional stage time in front of thousands of people. I got paid. I learned how to work clean and perform in any room. And I think about that a lot. I'm so grateful for it. And I know a lot of you are probably sitting there right now going, well, that's nice. It's cute that you're grateful, Taylor. And we get what you're doing with the church and everything. But, we've seen your stuff now. And there's no way you could perform in churches now. And here's the thing, I don't want to. And I probably won't. But I fucking could though, okay? Oh, if I get canceled or some shit, I'm a fucking professional and I will be returning to churches, okay? I will turn this ship around so goddamn gosh darn fast. In a fetus's heartbeat, I'll go back to churches. I will rebrand like you've never seen. I'll get real big hair, marry a man, let him lead. Write a book called Submissive Wife, Submissive Life. Adopt a southern accent out of nowhere. And yeah, I'm going on tour. I have the beginning of the show all planned out in my head. It's going to start off pitch black auditorium. Then on the big screen, I'm only doing mega churches. That's where the money is. On the big screen, a black and white montage, probably starting with the Netflix ba-dong noise. They own my ass for 8 more years. A black and white montage of all my raunchiest jokes from my 20s. And that's why getting a guy to wear a condom is like, fade out to demon noises. Freeze frame on my young face. Lights slowly come up as I walk out wearing all... You know what? I'm just going to show you. This is how you get pussy! I came so hard. I'll have you know, in bed, I am a wild animal, okay? And that's when I stopped believing in God. Go home and Google porn for women, okay? I lost my virginity late. I lost it when I was financially independent.
You guys, I'm literally fucking the patriarch.
Are you wet? Let me feel. Yeah, I grew up with God. He's a douchebag. That joke makes it sound like I resent my religious upbringing. And I do, so I nailed it. Fucking hell! No Christian parents want to watch their daughter talk about depression and dick for an hour.
Take that, Jesus!
I don't know if any of you have tried to get a 20-something dude from a dating app to wear a condom lately, but it's sort of like trying to convince a 5-year-old to put a jacket on over his Halloween costume. That's when I stopped.
Hey, you guys, I think I haven't tried to masturbate.
Yeah, you know, fucking hell.
Jesus!
Anybody recognize her? That was me, back when Satan had me in his clutches. And I can see some of you feeling like Joseph on Christmas right now. Like, is this whore lying to me? But everybody loves a comeback, don't they? It ain't a rebrand, it's a rebirth, folks. Welcome to the Prodigal Daughter Tour! All right, here's some great queer awakenings people sent in. I actually actually did get into a new relationship pretty quickly after I called off my engagement. I wasn't trying to. I really wasn't. A lot of my friends were like, you should stay single for a while. You should maybe get a cat. And I was like, hard pass. I have never left an interaction with a cat feeling better about who I was. Every cat reacts to people the way I react to seeing girls I went to middle school with in a Target. Just like, oh no! Like, that's every cat. I don't want to come home to that energy. But I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was trying to have like a fun, sexy fling, which doesn't usually go great for me because I have this round, wholesome face that people think they should build a life with. Every time I'm like, we could bone or whatever, guys are like, no, I'm all right. But you could meet my mom. Do you want to do that? You seem like you'd be better at meeting my mom than having sex. And they are not wrong. All right. I will meet your mom all night long. Moms like me so much for no reason. I was dating a guy years ago. We were totally on the rocks having problems. And I went to lunch with his mom hoping to get some advice. And halfway through lunch, she puts her hand on my hand and goes, you know, Taylor, my son's a lot like his father. And if I could go back in time, I don't know that I'd marry his father again. And I was like, are you saving my life in this Panera Bread right now? It was like a movie when an older character sacrifices themselves for the good of the journey. Like, she Gandalf'd me. She's like, fly, you fool! She was a bad mom and a bad wife, but such a good friend. Oh my God. Hoes before sons, am I right? I think about her every day. And my boyfriend wasn't looking for a relationship either when we met. Straight dudes usually aren't, you know? Women are surprised when they find a guy who can make them come, and straight dudes are surprised when they find a girl who can make them feel genuine feelings in their heart. Like, women are like, he got me off 3 times. And guys are like, I mean, I just fucking like her, dude. Like, we talked all day. I didn't want to hit her. It was nuts. She's just like my friend. I don't know. I want to like lick her heart, I think. Straight dudes are so proud of themselves for falling in love. It's really cute. They're like, I love you. Hell yeah, buddy. I knew you could get there. Women fall in love. We're like, I love you. Fucking again, you dumb bitch. You were supposed to love you first. You keep skipping that part. It is eat, pray, then love. Oh, God, it's okay. We'll try again in 1.5 years. My boyfriend is 7 years older than me because I need to get back at my dad for some stuff. Older guys are just better. They're just better. You never have to ask them to buy Pepto-Bismol. They just have it in the house. They pull it out after dinner like a nightcap. Like, you want some pink juice, baby girl? You're like, yes, I would. Cheers. Older guys don't call you things like cute or hot. They call you things like stunning, gorgeous, shit with syllables. Things that would take a 20-something guy a little while to sound out. And older guys aren't like cute or hot either. You know, they're handsome, distinguished, like old pictures of your grandpa you shouldn't look at too long. You ever find one of those in an old dusty box? You're like, who is that? Oh, that's wrong. Okay. They're not your family in those pictures yet. They're just the past. It is a gray area. Oh, I'll get weirder. You ever see a picture of your parents when they were young and hot and you get like weirdly mad because you know they would have never dated you? I saw a picture of my dad in college football once. I didn't talk to him for 3 weeks. I'm like, you would have left me at a drive-in, you Danny Zuko piece of shit. He's like, what? I'm like, I can't hug you for a year and I don't want to talk about it. My favorite thing about being on a network TV show is that they would bleep all the bad words and cut some of the more raunchy stuff, which means that my religious grandparents could watch the show and it wouldn't hurt their ears as much as my stand-up does. Not to say that my grandparents aren't supportive. They really are. I think that they're doing a really good job trying to understand where their liberal, agnostic grandkids are coming from. I can't stand it when people are too hard on their grandparents. If your grandparents are trying to understand you, you got to give them some grace if they mess up here and there terms-wise. When people are like, oh, well, my grandma cannot remember my pronouns. I'm like, does your grandma remember her address? Grandma's got bigger fish to fry. The light is coming. Also, do you know how old your grandma is? I don't. Mine's been 62 for 40 years. Also, you're taking more pictures of your grandparents than you ever have before, and they've got to know why, and that can't feel good. My grandparents are the best example I have in my life of Christianity done right. They're very loving, forgiving, non-judgmental people. But my siblings and I are all agnostic because we didn't grow up with that type of Christianity. We grew up in our scary Christian house. And when you grow up with something that hurts you as a kid, you don't really want it in your Barbie dream house as a grown-up, right? I also don't wear belts or use wooden spoons. That's not a coincidence. Oh, thank God. We were all lightly abused. Again, did that joke in Sweden, thought they were gonna call somebody. There's nothing worse than admitting to a room full of people that you got hit when they got tucked in at night. It is humiliating. No, I don't keep anything in my house that hurt me as a kid. No Bibles, no belts, no bridge to Terabithia. I'm hoping the author sees this and writes me a personalized apology. I do think that when you grow up in a scary religious environment, you spend a lot of your young adulthood untangling who you are from who they wanted you to be. Like, I just came out, all Gen Z, they're all queer, they're all in serious relationships, and they are all so disappointed in me every time I start dating another straight white guy. They're like, come on, Taylor, fuck the patriarchy. I'm like,
You guys, I'm literally fucking the patriarchy.
do you know how hard it is to continue dating straight men when you are surrounded by 3 queer relationships up close? Queer relationships are the most beautiful, thoughtful, creative things I've ever seen in my life. My sister and her partner are in a romance novel. Every time I talk to them, I'm like, hey, I know you had a hard week at work. You doing okay? And she's like, yeah, I did. So to cheer me up, my partner got me my favorite snack in a limited edition flavor. They got me a little vial of sand from the beach we went to on our first date. And you know how I always wanted an easy bake oven growing up and never got it? They found one on eBay. I'm like, oh my God, are they cheating on you? She's like, what? No, they just listen to me when I talk and remember things I say. And I'm like, what? No, go through their phone. This shit stinks. Go through their phone, trust me. She's like, okay, how are you and your boyfriend doing, Taylor? I'm like, oh, we're good. My boyfriend bought me a hot dog because he wanted one, and I was there too. You had to be there. It was so romantic. He was like, what? Sorry, too, I guess. I don't mean to shit on straight guys. You're very sweet. I've dated a lot of you, but oh my God, you are so proud of yourselves for almost nothing in a relationship. It is impressive to watch. Honestly, a straight man will put a candle in his bathroom and be like, I changed my whole life for you. And you're like, you didn't even light it, man. It kind of smells like lavender if you get down real close. I'd trade this candle for a slice of empathy, if I'm being honest with you. Have you tried to explain the concept of empathy to a tall, handsome white guy? That is a delicate conversation. You're like, okay, imagine that you're me. But I'm not. Okay. Hard to argue. Touche. Imagine that you feel how I feel, but I don't. Okay. Imagine that you could feel how I feel. I never will. Okay. Imagine you're a basketball player. Okay. What else? I like this game. Fine. All right. So in this analogy, you're a basketball player. And you're a really great teammate. How about that? You love your team, you're loyal to your team, you do everything for your team. And your team is not noticing. Your team is not appreciating you for all you do, for the MVP that you are. And this week, your team forgot your birthday. Now, how does that make you feel? That sucks. Yes. Try and get a hot guy to empathize is like trying to get a woman to come. And you're like, nobody move! We're so close. It's a car alarm. It's a car alarm. Stay focused, please. Work so hard. So anyway, I've been trying to figure out if I'm bisexual or if I just... Death has propelled me professionally. It's made me sort of a workaholic, probably. I was doing 2 full-time jobs for the last couple of years. I was touring, doing stand-up on the weekends, and then I was hosting a late-night show called After Midnight during the week. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's very nice. Great experience. Learned so much. Worked with great people. I had an assistant on set, which I initially did not want. It is a slippery slope having someone whose whole job is to fetch you snacks, okay? Because day one, you're like, could I borrow a phone charger? Next thing you know, you're like, could I just grab a LaCroix? Before you know it, you're like, could you just hold both my hands until I fall asleep? My assistant's name was Molly. Molly was incredible. Molly was so good at her job, I'm definitely going to die alone now because the standard of care in relationships is now Molly. All right? Here's how good Molly was at her job. My first day on the Paramount lot, I drive into the lot, I park in a reserved parking spot for me, and there's a big bush that's sort of growing in to the driver's side door, right? Nothing crazy, just enough to make it kind of hard to like, shimmy out, right? There's a few bees buzzing around, so I kind of did one of those before I was like, hey, nice to meet you, Molly. That's all that happened. I didn't complain about the bush. I didn't report the bush to anyone. Molly just witnessed the bush touch me a little. I drive onto the lot the next day, park in my spot, and the bush was gone. And I went, Molly, did you have them cut down this bush? And she goes, yep, and I had them spray for bees. And I went, okay, no one fuck with Molly. She had that bush whacked, literally. I couldn't talk casual shit around her. I didn't know what she would do. I couldn't come in on a Tuesday like Dave's kind of bugging me today, because I'd come in Wednesday like, hey, where's Dave? He's with the bees, Taylor. You flinched in his presence, so I took care of it. It's my first time I'd ever had a corporate at 6. Okay, like 6:30. Do you have time to feel abandoned and worthless? Okay, 6:30 in the parking lot. It's a date. I love you so much. You're doing a great job at work. Bye. That's never happened to me once. Every feeling I have demands to be felt immediately. Every feeling I have demands its own parade. Every feeling I have just turns into that scene from Aladdin where he's pretending to be a prince. Just like, OMG, Taylor's hungry, this could get dicey. Needs a sandwich, now she's a bitch, take it from me. But I'm glad I've had this year to work on this stuff because I needed it. I'm not proud of this, but I told the girl that married him, I was like, you better hope he never does go to space. And she goes, why, because it's dangerous? I said, no, because he's gonna cheat on you up there. Oh, you don't think astronauts are cheating? They're in space for months, floating. How long do you think it's going to take before one of them looks at each other like, hey, you know we should try? Houston, we have a problem. Not a big one. I mean, it's medium. It's not small or anything. I'm just saying what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens on the moon never even happened. We faked that landing. That's a joke. We didn't fake it. There were no female astronauts back then. Can't sleep? You know some kids don't have beds, right? Why don't you go lay face down on the cold tile for 10 minutes, see if you're not more grateful after that? And you know what, DC? I tried it and it works. It totally works. I do it on the bathroom floor in hotel rooms. I've had COVID many times, but... I want to get a handle on my anxiety because I know if I didn't have anxiety, I'd be a totally different person. The worrying alone takes up so much mental and emotional energy every day. And it doesn't help. It doesn't prepare you for anything bad happening like you think it will. I told my therapist this recently. I go, I know worrying doesn't do any good, right? I go, what's that one quote by that great philosopher? When you worry, you just suffer twice. She goes, I don't know that one. Who said it? I looked it up. It's from a fucking Harry Potter prequel. I was so confident, I Googled it in front of her. She's like, what philosopher said that? I'm like, Newt Scamander? Shit. think it was a fortune cookie. Can we just move on? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Without anxiety, I'd have a totally different personality because so many decisions I make in life are fear-based, or so many decisions I don't make are fear-based. I watch the same shows and movies over and over because it calms me down. I know what to expect. It doesn't stress me out. I date the same type of person over and over because I know what to expect. It doesn't stress me out. If you think you have a type, you don't. You have anxiety. See someone. I have 3. When I was 8, I was like, the only people I know with dead moms are Disney princesses. So, like, this sucks, but am I about to get hot? Then I hit puberty, and I was like, oh, no, I guess God just hates me right now. That's a bummer. That's a joke. God doesn't hate anybody, all right? Not anymore. But have you read the Old Testament? Holy shit. The Old Testament is my favorite Taylor Swift album. It is banger after banger. Just like, you don't believe in me? Snakes! Look what you made me do. I'm a 20-something white woman. Obviously, I'm going to compare T Swift to the Lord, all right? She is the only God I still believe in, all right? I don't see God revamping his old shit, and let's be honest, he probably should, because the people who own it now suck. It does grow you up very quickly, losing a parent that young. I mean, I saw a dead body when I was 8, which means I saw a dead body years before I saw a dick. And that is not the order this shit should go in, according to the American Girl Body Book. Although maybe it should be, because you know what's crazy? A dick, way more traumatizing than your dead mom. Oh my God, it's so much worse. I saw my mom, I was like, that lady used to make me snacks, now she's very still. I saw a dick for the first time, I was like, oh my God, who took Jabba the Hutt's eyes? You have done nothing for me. No, I didn't say Beetlejuice even one time. I haven't seen that many dicks, and I don't want to see any more. And it's nothing against men. I'm attracted to you for some reason. But I swear to God, every time you see a new dick, there's an adjustment period, isn't there? Just a real quick, like, and we're back in it. All right. I have stayed in relationships too long because I just wasn't ready to see a fresh one. I just couldn't wrap my head around it, literally or figuratively. I just didn't have it in me. Couldn't have it in me. And I don't care how many dicks you've seen. Every time you see a new dick, it feels like jumping into a cold pool. Just like, whoa, all right, let me just swim around, get used to this one. Okay, all right, this one's deeper than the last one, but that's okay. That's all right. This is why we take our arm floaties, you know, for moments like these. Just control your breathing. Hot girl summer, bitch. You can do it. I think of the genitalia options available, I think dicks seem friendlier, you know? They're up, they're happy to see you, they're wagging. I've never had sex. It's like a front tail, right? I'll Google it, it's fine. It's all speculation. I've never seen a vagina, not in my own, I'm a Christian. But from what I hear, it is very spooky down there. It's just a dark, spooky hole. Like, a hole? I'm sorry, what? Every time someone fingers me, I'm like, you are very trusting, sir. Because I don't even know where that goes. That might be where I keep the bipolar. That might be where it has been. Actually, if you see any, could you scrape it out? Could you? Just like a mental health pap smear? Can you just do? Don't do that. Like, you gotta hook your finger. Like when a baby's choking, are you familiar? If you do that, it'll push it in too far. It's too late. But if you hook your finger, you swipe it, that's how you get it out. I like doing that joke because it goes too far, but you do learn something that could save a life. I just love the idea of years from now, someone being like, if it weren't for that dick joke, my niece would not be here. We had a basic ass pastor who stuck to 3 topics. He had 3 messages. You are forgiven. Marriage is hard. Merry Christmas. Like, those were the 3. I do feel for pastors on Christmas and Easter because those are big weeks at church, right? Those are recruitment weeks. That's when everybody comes out of the woodwork. That's when the decaf Christians swing by. You only see those motherfuckers twice a year, and you gotta blow their minds so hard with the extras that they upgrade their subscription to weekly. That's a lot of pressure. And as the pastor on Christmas and Easter, you can't get creative. You can't get weird with it. You can't do an acoustic set. You gotta play the hits. You gotta tell the stories, right? Easter's a better story than Christmas, in my opinion. If you don't know, Easter is the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's where all of our merch is from. You've seen it. You've seen it. Dead guy up there, but tasteful, somehow very tasteful. Makes you think about your own death, like, ooh, hope I die in a way that looks good on jewelry, right? Think about it. When grandma died, were you like, ooh, slap her on an anklet? No, he's really doing it up there. I'll stop doing it. I'll stop doing it. We're all familiar. But Easter's a great story. There's a lot of action, right? It's the crucifixion, the resurrection. It's Jesus in his prime, early 30s, ripped. We betrayed him, we killed him, he's back. It's basically Twilight. It's a sexy, sexy story. I'm kidding. Twilight belongs to the Mormons. Don't take that from them, okay? They can't have caffeine. They need something to wake them up. Christmas is not as good a story. It's just not. The birth of Jesus, it starts off strong, right? An angel comes down from heaven, tells Mary, I know you're a virgin, but you're pregnant with the Son of God. Oh, shit. And then the angel has to go tell her boyfriend, Joseph, because believe women wasn't really a thing back then. So the angel's like, it's God in there, I promise. And then what? Then the angel leaves. Then it's just a long walk to a barn. That's most of Christmas, is just this right here. Jesus is barely in it. He comes in right at the end. He does zero magic. It sucks. Jesus is basically the post-credit scene in a Marvel movie. It's trash. Sucks. I remember one year our pastor tried to spice up the Christmas story with the guy she's dating. I was like, really? She goes, yeah, would you ever have a threesome? I was like, oh my God, no. I didn't want to hang out with two other people. I've never been in the middle seat on a flight fighting for an armrest, like, wish we were all naked. That would be cool. I don't even think I could date an extrovert again. I dated an extrovert once. We moved in together. The first week we lived together, he's like, hey, what if we had some people over? I was like, look, if you don't want to be with me, just say so. You want to have people over? Over what? My dead body? If you're an extrovert and you're in love with an introvert, you gotta understand, asking us to invite people over is like asking us to do anal. Watch our face change. Like, I'm sorry, is it your birthday? Seems like a big ask for a random Tuesday. I live alone now. It's incredible. I fall asleep in the middle of the bed like a boy king, just like, good night, Joffrey. It's fantastic. I eat all the food I buy. Every grocery I buy, it goes mere, it goes bad. That's power, DC. Yeah. If I clog the toilet at home, I don't have to deal with it right away. That's freedom, DC. When I lived with a man I was attracted to, I was always like, no, please, toilet, don't tell him I'm a human woman. I beg of you. Take my dark secrets to your watery grave. Remember our bargain. Now I'm like, you loser, toilet. That's what lids are for. You want to see the sky. Do your job. I was so afraid of being single all throughout my 20s. I was terrified. I got back into therapy. Anybody in therapy? Mostly women, that's the problem. It's very hard to stay in therapy. My old therapist told me that when I get close to people, I have a tendency to self-sabotage, and I thought that was bullshit, so I ghosted her. And then I finally went back because I finally dated enough people who all gave me the exact same feedback about my shitty personality. You know that romantic quota you hit where you're like, uh-oh, might be me. Oh, the reviews are in and they are unanimous. That's a bummer. So after a really bad breakup a few years ago, I finally took a long, hard look at myself and said, okay, Taylor, 5 out of 5 dudes all think that in fights, you behave like a raccoon trapped in a trash bag. So maybe it's time to get some Klonopin or a rabies shot. I am fully medicated now. Anybody else? Antidepressants? Medication? Yeah. Nice. What are we on? Shout it out. Zoloft, Lexapro. Ooh. Look at us, gang's all here. Oh my God. I'm also on something. I would never say what. That's very personal, but... No, I'm kidding. I'm on a few things. I am on Klonopin as needed for panic attacks. I'm so glad I have Klonopin now, because before I had medication for it, I would have panic attacks right when I had to be somewhere, which is the worst time to get them, because then you just have to pinch the panic attack off like a shit you don't have time to take. You know what I mean? When you're like, okay, I got 60% of that out of my system. I'm not done, but I gotta go to work. I will get to the other 40 later, or I'll finish in the big stall at lunch if no one's in there. I got put on something else for sleep because I have night terrors. There's no fun, casual way to say that. Wake up screaming. And these sleeping time pills I got are great. They don't stop the nightmares, but they do hold you down while they're happening. Which sounds bad, but before I'd wake up in the middle, so afraid, and now I stay asleep until the nightmare's natural conclusion, which provides you with some closure. You're like, oh, he stabs me at the end. Okay, plot twist, M. Nightmare Shyamalan. Of being single, I used to just jump from relationship to relationship to relationship because I was so scared that I was going to die alone. And now that I'm older, I'm like, I'm not going to die alone. I don't go hiking by myself, all right? Someone will be there when I die. A doctor, a murderer. Someone will bear witness. But I've been single for the last year now, and it has been the most relaxing year of my entire life. It has been lovely waking up every day going, oh, no one's going to make me cry today but me. The peace, it's lovely. Here's the thing. Being single is not what sucks. Dating is what sucks. And you can opt out of that. Dating is what's shitty. The constant push and pull of hope and disappointment. Dating feels like being a stuffed animal in a claw machine. Like, oh my God, it's happening! No, it's not. Oh my God, here we go. Wow, can't believe I told people. That's embarrassing. And you're just moving me over to get to something else. I understand. I get that. And things change so quickly as you're getting older, too. I had a friend. I didn't talk to her for a couple weeks. I called her to catch up. She goes, you'll never guess. I think I met my soulmate on Bumble. Gone, just like that. They're getting married this spring. We were lying in the same pile of stuffed animals for years. I closed my eyes for 2 minutes, and when I opened them, she was outside the glass going, it'll happen for you, too! I love being the neutral friend who's not dating, because as you get closer to 30, breakups get more and more devastating. Half my friends are getting engaged, and the other half are going through the worst breakup of all time with the person they thought they were going to die with, which means half the phone calls I get are, I'm getting married, and the other half are, I'm getting old, and I'm like, I am getting Taco Bell. Who wants something? Taco Bell, good for every occasion. Nothing will make you more grateful to be single than watching your friend go through a devastating breakup. That's messed up to say, but it's the truth. I have a friend just went through a breakup, still follows her ex on social media because they're trying to be mature and evolved. Rookie mistake. Her ex just posted a photo of him and his new girlfriend, who is a model. I know, don't worry, we all called her. We're like, hey, how's it going? Have you been online today? Because we were thinking maybe doing like a no screens day. We were thinking maybe we just power down, get a quilt, find a field, maybe crack the Bible open one more time. I don't know. She's like, I already saw it. We're like, oh, we're too late. Okay, are you okay? She's like, no, honestly, I wish he was just like dating a man instead. And we're like, oh, you are so problematic, Trish. Why? Why would that be better for you if he was just dating a man instead? She goes, no, listen, because then if he dumped me for a man, it would be like, well, okay, then he just wanted something that I could never be. And we were like, well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of... No, we think you're so pretty, babe, but like a model? Like that's kind of like a different, like look around. Don't you think if you were a model, we'd all be models? But Like, this isn't Model Squad. This is Personality Squad. Like, this is a different team you're on. We have another friend who just got cheated on, which is crazy. You can't cheat anymore. It's not the 90s, you idiot. Your phone is tracking your every movement. You're going to get caught. You're going to go out and buy your side chick flowers. Your wife's going to get a text from Bank of America like, we noticed that Steve was being thoughtful? That just seemed like suspicious activity over here at BOA, because we know that POS. I think it's important to hang out. I turned 30 2 weeks ago. And that means that I have spent the last 14 years of my life trying to get good at this, trying to get good at stand-up, trying to have the career that I am now fortunate enough to have. Thanks to all of you, honestly, yeah. And as grateful as I am, and as lucky as I am, it has really made me, this year especially, go, oh no, I don't know if I'm going to be good at this other stuff. I mean, I know I'm a good comedian. I don't know if I'm a good person. I don't know if I'm a good parent. I don't know if I'm a good partner. This hour of material that I'm doing right now, that's like, can I have it all? I don't even know. This is not a bit, DC. I am genuinely concerned. Because I know how hard it is to do this job and be in this business and have a family. I see how hard friends of mine work at it. I also see how little work people put into it. There are a lot of people in this business who are like, you can have kids and travel. They got FaceTime now, which feels like tying your dog up outside a coffee shop and going, I can see him through the window. He's okay. And I still have a lot of childhood shit that I'm working through on my own. I don't want to put that on a kid, right? Like, I was watching a TED Talk recently. Sorry, I was watching a TikTok recently. I always get those confused. The information's still good, it's just vertical. That said, if you have childhood trauma you are still working through as an adult, you need to learn how to parent yourself as a grown-up. So I've been trying to do that in order to heal. I've been trying to parent myself. But I kind of feel like I got pregnant with me in high school. And I was not ready for this responsibility. And now I wake up every morning, totally overwhelmed, trying not to shake me. Like, okay, if I let you watch TikTok on my phone for 30 minutes, will you please stop crying? All my friends are like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I think I have colic. I kept me up all night. I love TikTok, but you know what's so funny to me about TikTok? All these kids on TikTok who are like lip syncing and dancing and like pretending they're in a music video, right? We all did that growing up, didn't we? Yeah, like alone in your room in the mirror, hairbrush, of course. But if anyone had walked in on you doing it, you would have killed yourself, right? And these kids are online, like, I hope millions of people see this. It's like, you could benefit from some bullying, I think. Might have overcorrected a bit. But I do have a lot of friends who are getting married and having kids, and, you know, they're condescending as hell. It's so funny how the same girls who used to wake up drunk on train tracks are now like, I don't know how you stay out past 10 p.m. Your lifestyle's really unhealthy. I'm like, I've seen you snort coke off a rusty bike rack. But you keep sniffing that baby's head like we all forgot. But my friends who have kids and are married, like, they complain about their jobs, and I do the same dismissive thing right back to them, where I'm like, well, yeah, but you're married, so you're fine. They're like, yeah, but I'm miserable 60 hours of the week. I'm like, yeah, but you have your dream dick, so you're fine. And it's not great, and I think part of it is that we're all turning 30, and 30 was this age in our heads where we're like, well, by 30, we'll have all our shit together, right? So that kept us going through our 20s. We're like, we're 25 and we're garbage, but in 5 years, we'll have it all figured out. And then you're like, I'm 27 and I'm just a piece of shit, but I have 3 years to turn this around. And then you're like, okay, I'm 29, crunch time, bitch. And now that we're all 30, we're like, oh shit, our lives are not going exactly as we always pictured them. And so now there's this weird comparing that's going on, this weird tension. Like, I know that all of my friends both pity and envy me. Just like I know that I both pity and envy them, right? I know my friends look at me and go, yeah, I mean, I would probably focus on work if I was all alone. And I go, yeah, I'd probably have a bunch of kids if I had no talent. So we're all... And it's not healthy per se. But I do think it's good to focus on what is going right in your life. I think that that's gratitude. I think that that's important. And it has gotten me through a lot of weddings and baby showers to have my dream job. To sit in the back row like, yeah, whatever. Have your bullshit love party. Hope it works out. I'm still gonna have the coolest job of anybody you know. And that was true until somebody married an astronaut. And everybody's so impressed. I guess astronaut beats everything. They're like, you gotta admit, Taylor, that's the coolest job. And I'm like, oh, he's gotta wear a costume or he'll die? Fuck off. That's a dumb job. Now, if I can't breathe somewhere, I don't go there, Dan. That's just science. Dan hasn't even been to space, you guys. He just goes to work and practices space. That's his job. He goes in, they put him in a roller coaster ride. They're like, don't throw up. He's like, you got it, Captain. What a hero. When I say that I came out in the last couple of years, I just mean publicly, right? Like, I came out to friends earlier than that, but I don't think I did it right. I think I was too casual about it. I think I was supposed to do like an episode of Glee, and I just sort of mentioned it, like, oh, by the way, I think I'm going to date women now, too. And they were like, okay. Like I said, I was vegan or something. Like, okay, we'll see how long that lasts. You need iron, bitch. Like, they were not... They really accepted it once I had my first girlfriend. I started dating this girl who was so hot. I was like, oh my God, am I Pete Davidson? How tall am I? And when I started dating women, it was the closest I'd come to feeling religious in a long time, because my friends would complain about their boyfriends and husbands, and I was like, oh, have you heard the good news? You don't have to live like this. There's a better way. Then once I had a girlfriend, then my friends started coming to me with a lot of their questions. They started coming to me with their millennial regrets. Do we have any Gen Z in here tonight? Oh my God! Shut up, really? Okay, everyone be cool in front of my new friends. All right. Now, Gen Z, you won't really get this because you guys are very good at exploring your identities and sexualities. You want to know who you are and what you're capable of. And what you have to understand about us millennials is we wake up every day and look in the mirror like, shh. Don't feel joy outside. You'll upset Mama and Papa. Just wait. Be free in death. Wait. Those are our morning affirmations. So... we're dealing with a lot. We're repressing a lot. So I had a lot of female friends in their 30s and 40s who were like, I wish I had dated women, but, you know, they ended up with a man and they were happy, but they're like, I wish I had done that. And so they were asking me a lot of personal questions, like, is it better having sex with women? And I was like, do you really want me to tell you? Because you said you were pretty locked in with that guy. And they're like, no, like, is it really different? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, how? So here's what I said. I really was triggered by the capital G God in my phone because I have religious trauma. Anybody else have religious trauma? Thought you might. If you don't know what religious trauma means, it just means you grew up in church, you're not religious anymore, but now, anytime you feel good, you feel kind of bad about it. Like, have you ever had a dip in the middle of an orgasm? Like, ha, 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 ha. That dip is Jesus spraying you in the face with a water bottle. That's why I don't say, oh God, during sex. He's like Beetlejuice. He'll show up. And to be clear, I'm not an atheist. I just don't know what happens. Neither do you. Spoiler alert, nobody knows. I've never related to the certainty so many Christians feel, where they're like, I just know. You're like, but how do you know there's a God? I just know. The only time I've ever just known something, it was that I had diarrhea. That's the only time. The only time I've ever been like, oh. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I did start praying. But I resent both sides equally. I hate it when people are like, there's no God, it's just darkness, fuck you. And I hate it when people are like, there is a God and here's his address and he loves me best. I just hate confidence. That's really what it is. I cannot stand it when people are too confident. I have one very confident friend. That's it. That's all I can handle in my life. One friend so confident. You know that hot girl in 8th grade who always came into class late with a Frappuccino and you're like, we get it. Your mom had you on purpose. She's like that. My dad was so religious growing up, he used to insist on praying out loud in restaurants before we ate dinner, which is fine if you're into that, but keep it short. He wouldn't do that. He would do long, drawn-out prayers full of personal details that none of us signed off on at the table, which made puberty pretty rough with your dad in public, just like, thank you, Lord, for this food. Thank you for bringing us here together. Thank you that Taylor's a woman now and is getting the help she needs in math. I'm like, can you not tell this Chipotle that I'm bleeding and can't subtract? I think God knows. It's why I don't feel bad telling jokes about my parents on stage now, because anytime they're like, do you have to air our dirty laundry in front of strangers? I'm like, hometown buffet, 1998. You told everyone within a 5-booth radius that I shat my pants the night before. I can say whatever I want. I'm not religious anymore. I have had some friends find religion as adults recently, which is very upsetting. If you grew up religious and you're not anymore and your adult friends find religion, it feels like God is your shitty ex-boyfriend who's now getting it together for your friend and you just have to watch it happen on Facebook. They're like, have you met God? He's amazing. I'm like, yeah, I grew up with God. He's a douchebag, all right? Did he tell you you were broken and you need him? That's his move. That's what he does. He says that to everybody. Don't drink what he gives you. You drink that, next thing you know, you're eating his body, the Holy Spirit's inside you. It's a whole system they have over at that frat house they call church. Who else uses Roman numerals? That joke makes it sound like I resent my religious upbringing, and I do, so I nailed it. But no, honestly, if I had to come up with some stuff that was like positive about me growing up religious, I'm sure I could with enough time and money. But I do have some issues with it. It gave me some serious trust issues. And it just made me weird growing up in church in ways that I am still discovering. For example, I just found out that I masturbate wrong. I will back up. Okay, so when I was growing up in church, kids had youth group, and at youth group, they were like, don't have sex. And we were like, for sure, for sure. And then they were like, don't even masturbate. And all the girls were like, okay, we didn't even know that we could. And all the boys were like, why? And the way they explained it to us was, our youth pastor told us, he goes, it's not the physical act of masturbating that's the sin, you guys, all right? It's not even the orgasm. In fact, if you have a wet dream, thank God for the freebie and have an awesome day. But what are you thinking about while you're doing that to yourself, guys? That's what the sin is. It's the lust in your heart. It's the impure thoughts in your head. That is what the sin is. So when I got to be an adult and I wanted to masturbate, I was like, well, if I just don't think about anything, I could probably still go to heaven, right? Just like clear your mind, get in there, get it done. See you soon, Jesus, right? Touch nothing but the lamp. So I've been doing this my entire adult life. All my friends are like, you gotta meditate. I'm like, I think I do. And I do mean my entire adult life, by the way. I did not masturbate till I was a grown woman. I was that afraid of going to hell, all right? Yeah. I had my first orgasm with my college boyfriend. Do you know how embarrassing that is to get your first orgasm from another person? That's like having a realtor show you your own house. They're like, and over here we have a second bathroom. You're like, a second bathroom? Like, you've been here for 19 years. You never went poking around on your own? You're like, I did once, but I thought Jesus would get mad. So Yeah, I don't actually own this place. I'm just renting it from the guy upstairs. And if I flood the basement, I do not get my security deposit back. So, is there anything else I should see while you're here? She's like, yeah, let me show you the doorbell. I'm like, oh, is the doorbell even important? She's like, the doorbell is the only thing that matters. Nobody comes inside without touching the doorbell. Oh, but I did touch it. You didn't use enough pressure. It didn't light up. So the part about being single, hands down, is that you do not have to introduce anybody to your parents. Have you guys introduced people you were dating to your parents? It's not about introducing people you love to one another, is it? No. It's about showing your partner why you're mean to them sometimes. It's about taking your sexual partner back to the scene of the crime. To say, see, the stories are true. Because you don't want your partner to like your parents. You want them to walk out of that night going, oh my God. Your parents are just, I know. I mean, seriously, babe, how did you ever? I don't know. Kind of seems like maybe people should cut me some slack when I'm being a bitch, though, huh? Kind of seems like maybe now that we have all the information, turns out I could be a lot crazier if I wanted. But I keep a lid on it pretty good, and I deserve to stop at Target on the way home. With no time limit. And I want a cart, not a basket. You have to be careful when you introduce people to your parents, though, because your parents don't always show up as your parents, do they? Mine never did. My parents undermined me every single time I brought someone home to meet them. I did everything right. I did the huddle up in the car before we went in, like, hey, remember what I told you? Those people in there, they're not your friends. Whatever they say to you, do not take that personally. It's not about you, it's about them. Do you want to write that on your hand in case you forget? No? You can look at my tattoo if you get scared. Let's do it. And then you go inside prepared for your parents to show their true colors. And your parents float downstairs. And they're just amazing all night. They're like fun, cool, laid back. Your dad's in an open Hawaiian shirt. Just a one-man conga line, topping off drinks, saying all kinds of progressive shit you've never heard him say. You want another beer? We should golf sometime. What are your pronouns again? And you gotta get back in the car later muttering like a conspiracy theorist. Like, well, that was not, I was there and I know I have it and it was all right. And no one can tell me what didn't happen and I know where it is. While your boyfriend buckles up like, I don't know what you're talking about, babe. Your parents are awesome. And you're like, oh, no, they are not. I don't know who those lizard people were. But they are not the ones who broke me. And the next time you see your parents, they're all smug, like, Jason really seemed to like us. You're like, I know what you're doing. Oh, maybe your therapist wants to meet us next, get our side of the story. I cannot wait till you're in the ground. All right, well, we'd like to be cremated. I will scatter your ashes where God can't find them. I will see you both at Easter. I think we need more gay prudes to stand up and go, I too am bisexual. I'm attracted to all of you, and I trust no one. I would, but I will not. It's also scary to say you're bisexual for the same reason it's scary to say you're suicidal. There's always going to be people who are like, if you don't go all the way, you just want attention. You know who likes that joke? Queer people. Queer people get that joke? Straight people are like, oh my God, there were so many sad words. Which is fair, you're right. No offense, straight guys. I have to say, I am so glad that straight men are not my only option anymore. That was bleak. That was tough. And it's not because you're bad people. You're just so hard to communicate with. I mean, and I tried. I've been to couples therapy with a lot of dudes. Never been married. That's embarrassing. You know how embarrassing it is to break up with someone you've been to couples therapy with? You just have to live the rest of your life with all this useless information about some dude's childhood. You're like, cool, guess I'll just go the rest of my days knowing what triggers Michael. That sucks. I also couldn't get on the same page with a lot of my boyfriends about our future. Like, I used to only want to adopt if I was going to have kids. And every straight guy I ever dated was like, no, it's going to look like me or I'll eat it. Every guy. Which, hey, I've never been a father. Maybe that's true, right? I had one boyfriend who said he would use a surrogate. He was open to that idea, which I do love the idea of a surrogate. What a power move to be like, can you just hold this for 9 months? I'm so busy. I'm getting a call. Don't eat fish. You breeze back in 9 months later. Their guts are everywhere. You have a blowout. You're like, thank you so much. Thank you. Hey, you're glowing. You're brave. Money's on the nightstand. 5 stars. Bye. You're like, that was a lot. I'm going to do no contact delivery next time. I think, yeah, no, you're at the right place. Just leave it on the porch, take a picture, I'll come get it when you're gone. No, you're at the right house. Look, if I was an extrovert, I would have had it myself. So. It's really good. That was not the feedback I kept getting from romantic partners, by the way. That's not what finally made me get help. Every guy I've ever dated has told me I have trust issues, which is something liars say when you're onto them. You have trust issues, babe. You have a hot coworker and a locked phone, so. I have trust issues, but I earned them, okay? I absolutely earned them. Like, I got cheated on in college. My college boyfriend was sleeping with sex workers behind my back, or prostitutes if you're old and don't know that word's not okay to use anymore. Sometimes older crowd members can get confused because they're like, what is a sex worker? Is that what my granddaughter does on Instagram? And you're like, no. She's just hot. That's a FabFitFun box. That's a different thing. Your granddaughter that's not a job. That's not real. You can't say prostitute anymore. Calling a sex worker a prostitute is like calling a comedian a clown. You're not technically wrong, but you are a fucking asshole. So. But I told my therapist I got cheated on like this, and she didn't say what I wanted her to say, which was, poor baby sweetie, this session is free. Instead, she goes, well, you might be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I was like, oh. And she's like, no, it's a bad thing. And I was like, oh. Well, then could you say I have self-fulfilling prophecy? Is Selena Gomez a self-fulfilling prophecy? And I said, what does that mean? I'm a self-fulfilling prophecy. And she goes, well, sometimes we expect someone to treat us poorly, so we treat them like they're going to treat us poorly until they do. You thought someone was going to cheat on you, so you treated them like they were going to cheat on you until they did cheat on you. And then you were like, see? And I was like, oh, so I'm a witch. And she's like, ooh, so close, you're a bitch. You gotta get that me. I'm like, whatever, all I heard was Gryffindor. I am working on my trust issues. I was so much worse when I first started seeing my therapist. I told her, like, first session, I was like, the guy I'm dating keeps answering my phone calls, hey, beautiful? And she's like, so what's the problem? I was like, I mean, I don't know yet. But when I find out who beautiful is, she's like, do you think it might be you? I was like, I'm sorry, I thought we were here to work. I think I'm cute or whatever now, but I was an ugly kid with honest parents, and that shit stays in your bones, all right? If you were an ugly kid with honest parents, I don't care how attractive you grow up to be. At any point, if someone's like, you look really nice today, you're like, man, whatever, I know the goddamn truth. When I was 10, I said, Dad, am I pretty? And his response was, look. I'm not the best looking guy, right? No, but I wake up every morning and I try. I take a shower, I put on a nice suit, and I do okay. And then he went to work. And I became a comedian, I guess. That was his response to his 10-year-old daughter. Just like, you and me, potato face, these are the cards we were dealt. Get clean and match. That's all you can do. Don't sleep on wet hair. Can't do that. Maybe wear a hat sometimes. Cover up some of that head. I'm sorry, there's so much of it. I think I'm pretty. I have a big head. I know I do, because every guy I've ever dated has made a point to be like, I love your big head. That's my favorite thing guys do when they compliment the thing you hate most about yourself. They're like, I love your soft arms. You're like, okay. Yeah? I love your weird balls. How does it feel? How does it feel to be accepted? I'm a nightmare to date. Anything nice you do or say, I'm just like, whatever. I dated a guy once who told me that flirting with me was like punching water. And I was like, why? Because it's pointless or because you look stupid doing it? He's like, did you hear it? I'm like, I heard it that time. Yeah. And then he cheated on me. So, prophecy fulfilled. I can't help it. At the beginning of a relationship with a guy, I just assume anything nice he does is a move he pulls on everybody. And I'm not gonna fall for your choreography, sir. I'm like, oh, is this your move? You open the car door for me on the date? This is like your move? This is how you do it? It's cute. Bet that works a lot. Oh, is this your move? You go with me to my grandpa's funeral, hold an umbrella over my head in the rain? This is like your move? This is how you do it? Like, oops, don't get wet. Oops, I am. Whatever. This ain't my first rodeo. I used to have 2 grandpas. Oh, is this your move? You die next to me in a hospital bed at 86 years old, holding my hand for all eternity? This is like your move? This is how you get pussy? He's like, we've been together for 60 years. I'm like, you're a fuckboy, and I know it. Don't bury me with this guy. He's been dying with other people behind my back. I can't prove it. Check his phone when he uses the bedpan. I'm not sure if I want kids now. I go back and forth on whether or not I want kids so often that sometimes I just want to get my tubes tied because that feels like the reproductive equivalent of pouring water on brownies in the trash. And you're like, I'm going to want these later. But I'm thinking straight now. So I'm gonna remove the option. If you're not laughing, congrats on having a healthy relationship with food your whole life. Do we have any moms in here that wouldn't mind? Oh, good. You're like, yes, I am. I love that. That wouldn't mind me asking them personal questions about childbirth. Love it. Your hand's still up. Love that. Moms are so cool. They're always like, yeah, sure. I'm an open book. Literally. They cracked my spine on the way out. So I would love to share. Okay. How many kids do you have? 2? Nice. How old are they? 16 and 18? Oh, thank God. They're like full people. When people have babies, I freeze up. I'm like, oh, is it water? Has it opened its eyes or has it dried out? They come out pretty slick, right? Yeah. Got a grip on it. Okay. You got teenagers. Did you have your kids out the main terminal? Yeah. I thought that was a classy way of putting it. Okay. So I've talked to a lot of women on this tour who have told me, because I'm very scared of childbirth, which makes sense. I grew up in church where not even abstinence could protect you fully, right? They told you the story of Mary. They're like, yeah, no, keep your knees closed. Hope God doesn't pick you. Like, it's it adds a whole other layer of fear to childbirth. Childbirth is already terrifying. What if it's breech? What if it's sick? What if it's God? So I'm very scared of childbirth, and I've talked to a lot of moms on this tour who have told me that when you're pushing, a lot of times your body's like, we know what you're looking for. Coming right up. Ding, ding, ding. And at some point during the process, in addition to a baby, you may also push out. Did you poop? Yeah. Thank you for being honest. Thank you so much. Here's what I've learned asking that question for the last couple years. There's only 2 correct answers to did you poop during childbirth. Yes, I did, and I do not recall. Yes, I did, or none of my business. Because some moms talk about childbirth like it's a music festival they went to once. They're like, I was on a lot of drugs. I think your dad was there. I don't know. All I remember is I kept yelling, play my song, bitch. And they made me leave before I was ready. The first time I ever asked someone, I was at a comedy club in Dallas, Texas. There was a woman in the front row. She goes, 3 kids, never pooped. And there was a table of nurses nearby who were wasted, you guys, who started scream laughing at her. Everybody poops, every single person. And if you think you didn't, then we fucking lied to you. And I had to watch this whole woman's world change. It was like the Truman Show. I felt so bad. I was trying to save the vibe in there. I was like, hey, babe, don't feel bad. Even if I, airlift mine out, I'm going to poop on that table just to show him who's boss, right? To be clear, I had to decide what I want to happen to my remains when I'm gone. Have you guys decided what you want to happen to your bodies when you're gone? Yeah? Well, what are we going to do? Well, a tree pod? Yeah, that's nice. I like that you say tree pod because every once in a while you get a girl who's like, I'm going to be a tree. And you have to explain to her like, oh, sweetie, you don't get to be the tree. You're tree food. You're helping the tree. You're sort of like a pageant mom to the tree. Like, go, baby, go. Be what I cannot, right? Tree pod's great. What else we got? Someone said, what? Donating to science. What part of science? What area of science are we thinking? Oh, okay, you have a medical school picked out, but not like a specific area of science, not like keep it all above the net. I'm just saying, do we trust a bunch of college kids with our dead bodies? Do we feel like here's a dead mess of holes, you decide what science is? I'm not sure about that. I just leave specific instructions. That's my only thing. Is anyone getting cremated? Yeah? Okay. I hope you have a plan for where you want those ashes spread, because sometimes people go, I don't know. And it's like, you are going to end up somewhere weird if you don't. Your ashes are going to end up in like the cup holder in your driver's side door. You know that weird one where every 6 months you're like, was that an oat milk latte once? Like that's the best answer I got recently. A guy yelled out, Viking funeral. Yeah, some guy in the crowd just yelled out, Viking funeral. And I was like, okay, I mean, that's cool if you want that, but I hope you have a niece or nephew that you're sending to summer camp that can make that shot, because that's a hard shot to make. The boat gets smaller and smaller the further away it gets, and if they miss, that's not a Viking funeral anymore. That's just a dead guy in a boat. And that is not as festive, is it? That's Stand By Me too. I'd like to be cremated, personally, because I like that you can inconvenience your family after you're gone. That's fun for me. Because who's going to say no to taking your ashes home, first off? Like, oh, I couldn't possibly. There's no room at my house. We're full up on haunted cups. Like, nice try. Take me home. I'm so small, right? And then if you want your family to spread you somewhere, depending on how you feel about your family, that's where you send them, right? So if you love your family, you're like, I'd like you to spread me in Hawaii over 7 days of PTO. That's what I'd like. Love you guys. Miss you. And then if you don't like your family, you can be like, have you been to Toledo? In January. Actually, no, I want you to do it right between Christmas and New Year's. My mom was cremated, and after my mom died, my dad got remarried. And when my dad got remarried, he gave my mom's ashes to my grandma because return to sender, I guess. You're right. I am so sorry. Return to manufacturer. That's what it is. And his reasoning was, he was like, look, I'm getting remarried, and I can't take these into another woman's home. And as his daughter, I was like, yes, you can. But as an adult woman now, I'm like, oh, no, you can't. I've dated straight men. I don't like it when they follow their exes on Instagram. You're telling me if he brought a little baggie of her bones inside and was like, this lives under the TV forever, I'd be like, cool, love that there. No, I'd be passive aggressive at best. I would probably flush a teaspoon of her every day. Just... Until one day he picked it up and was like, the urn feels lighter. I'm like, maybe she lost weight. Not you body shaming the urn, babe. You know what's funny about that joke? I don't even really feel that way anymore. I think a younger version of me felt that way. When you're single in your 30s, you don't care about so much. You kind of just want someone who's not going to bug you. That's really, in my 20s, I was so insecure, so toxic. I was like, I need to be someone's first and only true love, their one and only wife. I need to be with someone who does not watch pornography. And now I'm like, you can jerk off to your dead wife if you want. I don't care. You want to put her bones under the TV? Is the TV playing my show? Then that's great. You put as many bitches up there as you want. We'll watch Love is Blind as a family. I told my buddy Dustin that, and he goes, what if you married a guy who was still in love with his dead wife? And I was like, she's not coming back. What do I... That's his thing to deal with. You know, lock yourself in the bathroom, smell her shirts, cry it out. But we're going to Chili's at 5. And the coupon's for 2, not 3. So get it all out of your system, babe. Hell, jerk off into the urn if you want. Hey, when life gives you lemons, make cement or whatever. It's romantic. She can swallow one last time. Shame on you for laughing at that. I do think my fear of therapy gets a lot better when you're single too, because you have time to dig into things like that. When you're in a relationship, you waste half of every therapy session going over all the shit your partner won't go to therapy for. When you're single, that's an hour of you every week. It's almost too much time. You really got to start doing your homework on your days off. After my last breakup, I was coming into therapy hot every week with ideas like, hey, you know what I realized this week? The elementary school I went to growing up, across the street from a cemetery. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, I don't know, but that really seems like something, doesn't it? I bring the ingredients, you bake the cake. I'm not a doctor. I went down deep inside me, found something scary, brought it back up to you. I was so brave. Where's my treat? So brave. Favorite client. I really want to find out if I'm my therapist's favorite client. You can't just ask. They won't tell you. I've tried. The only way I can think to figure this out is to get in touch with another one of her clients. And then me and that client plan to call her over the weekend, separately, at the exact same time. Suicidal. And then we just see whose call she takes. We both want to end it. Who you want to keep here, Dr. S? And then whoever wins that face-off, we go to the next set of clients. And we just kind of do brackets, you know? Sort of like a March Sadness situation. Is there anyone in here who grew up religious but is not religious anymore? You're at the right show. All right, of those people, who saved people? Who spread the good news while they were religious? Ooh, bit of a drop off there. That's tough. A lot of us didn't do the homework. You saved people while you're religious, but you're not religious anymore? Okay. Do you ever feel, serious question, do you ever feel like maybe you should, like, call those people? Just a courtesy call, like, hey, remember what I told you about forever? Oh, I don't know. What if those people get up to heaven and they're like, look, your sponsor's not in there, so we didn't know you were coming. I don't know. Are you sure? Maybe they Holy Ghosted you. We're sorry. For real, though, you got to go to hell. We're sorry about that. I never saved anybody at all. I was talking to someone who grew up Mormon. I was like, well, you guys were really saving people. And he was like, oh, yeah, baptism for the dead. You guys know what that is? I didn't know. Apparently, in Mormonism, sometimes they will save people after they've died, which really takes the pressure off of saving live people, doesn't it? When you can just go, hey, do you believe in God? And they're like, no. And you're like, that's okay. We'll wait. And then as soon as they're dead, you're like, bibbity-boppity Mormon. This is how you get a soul to heaven, right? Like you're trying to get poop smell out of your hinge date's bathroom. If you're not laughing, you're married, and fuck you, this joke's not for you. Enjoy shitting with the door open. Some of us have to carry matches everywhere. But if any of the relationships that I had in my 20s had worked out, I would not have my dream job. I would not have the career I've always wanted. And I've had a lot of cool experiences just this year as a result of being on my own. I finally got to do some shows in Europe back in April, which was a dream come true. And because I was single, instead of taking someone I was dating, I took my best friend, Courtney. Courtney's been my best friend since we were 10 years old. 20 years, she's seen me through everything. She saw me through depression in high school. She saw my first stand-up show ever. When I called off an engagement a few years ago, she kept my wedding dress in her attic like it was Jumanji. I'm like, just put this where I can't hear the drums. And she and I got to run around Europe paying for shit with my dick joke money. It was awesome. And it was really special to have her on that trip with me because exactly a year before that, last April, I was alone in a green room in Colorado, pre-show, post some breakup. And I got a call from Courtney. And I was like, hey, I thought you were on vacation with your boyfriend this weekend. And she goes, yeah, no, we are, but I just want to check in and see how you were doing. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. And I talked to her about me for like 10, 15 minutes. And finally I was like, hey, you're not really saying anything about you and your trip. I mean, are you guys okay? And she goes, oh my God, yes. Oh yeah, no, we're great. We're great. We're actually, we are actually engaged. And I was like, what? Oh my God, why did you ask about me at all? And she goes, I don't know. I guess I just wanted to make sure that you were in a place where you could hear it. It was so sweet and so hurtful. I have never felt so seen and so insulted in my whole life. Her fiance was there the whole time. Oh, she's like, and then what else? She sounds stable. She sounds like she could handle it. That's how you know your best friends met the one, by the way, when you can no longer get them on the phone alone ever again. You call them late at night crying halfway through the call. They're like, by the way, you don't care that Todd's been here the whole time, right? And you're like, oh my God, no. I actually called to see if Todd thinks I have a yeast infection. So glad Todd is available. And don't get me wrong, I love my best friend's fiance. I think he's an amazing guy. If he died, would a little part of me be like, sleep over? Of course. But I really was so touched that she was thinking about me and my mental health during her engagement that I went out on stage that night and I said, before we start the show, can you guys do me a huge favor? Can we make a video for my best friend who just got engaged? And the crowd's like, yeah. So I got my phone, I put it on selfie mode, and I went 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, Courtney! Me and 2,000 people yelling at her. And I got off stage that night and I texted her the video to say, hey, I love you. I'm so happy for you. And look at all these people who paid to see me. I'm doing just fine. I have one of Hugh Jackman's gloves. Thank you so much, DC. You are absolutely... I don't think the dating app thing is for me, by the way. I don't think I can do it. Is anyone in here on dating apps? Okay. And has anyone in here never been on a dating app? Oh, I don't care for that. Wish I hadn't asked. The smugness of those woos. I hated every second of that. If you've never been on a dating app, let me tell you what it's like. Every dating app profile, you get 6 photos of what look like 6 different human beings. And then you have to go and sit at a coffee shop and wait for them. Like, come on, picture number 3. Come on, picture number 3. And then he gets there and you're like, God damn it, it's 4. But you can't just leave. You got to sit there for 45 minutes, nodding and smiling, knowing you're going to ghost him later. You feel creepy. You feel like Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense. Just like, oh, he doesn't know he's dead yet. Dating is so awkward, especially dating apps. A dating app date is not a blind date, but it is a nearsighted one, you know? The first date's easy. You get dinner, drinks, that's basic. But then they're like, this was fun. We should hang out again. What should we do? And you're like, well, shit, I'm not a person with hobbies or interests. I'm basically